This owl has been staring at you for 500 years, 6 of them hidden across one single painting. Art historians still can't agree on what they mean. We're talking about Hieronymus Bosch, the weird painter. He stuffed hundreds of bizarre creatures into his work. But the owls keep showing up again and again. Small birds with piercing eyes that watch you directly. So what's the deal with these owls? Here's the thing about people in the 1500s. They didn't see animals as just animals. Every creature carried a moral or spiritual meaning. Good guys were lambs and horses, pretty basic stuff. Bad guys were wolves, snakes, and bats. And owls definitely on the dark side. Think about it. A bird that thrives in darkness. It avoids the light completely. In medieval times, that meant sinners rejecting God. Some texts linked owls directly to the damned. Old writings said owls lure prey through deception. Basically a perfect metaphor for the devil tempting souls. So owls became symbols of night, sin, and death. But here's where it gets interesting. Not everyone agreed with that dark interpretation. Remember Athena's owl that symbolized wisdom and philosophy? Some monks saw owls as symbols of quiet contemplation. So the owl was super ambiguous, wisdom versus evil. Bosch knew exactly how to exploit that tension. Now let's find where he hid these 6 owls. Starting with the Garden of Earthly Delights. Left panel is paradise, center is the earthly garden. Right panel is hell. Pretty straightforward layout. Each section has owls doing very different things. In paradise, there's an owl most people miss. Look at that famous fountain of life in center. See that spherical base at the bottom? An owl peeks through an opening, watching everything. It doesn't grab attention at first. That's the point. Evil lurking hidden in the heart of Eden, waiting since the very beginning to strike. Right next to it, the serpent coils around knowledge tree. Both snake and owl anticipate sin before it happens. But wait, there's a second owl nobody notices. Look toward the top of the mountain up there. See that tiny pink-toned owl, weird color choice? Bosch usually reserves pink for God's robe only. Some scholars think it represents divine wisdom originally. Wisdom that later becomes corrupted into the dark owl. Even in God's perfect world, sin's seed was there. Okay, now the center panel gets wild. 3 more owls, and they're way more visible. On the left, a young man embraces a gigantic owl. The bird is almost his own size, super creepy. The dude is smiling like it's totally normal. He treats the bird like part of sensual games. On the right side, another owl sits on cracked egg. Below it, a couple decorated with cherries dances happily. Here's what makes these owls different from others. They're both facing forward, looking directly at you. Those fixed, sleepless eyes staring right through you, Bosch painted them this way to freak viewers out. None of these owls interact tenderly with humans. They just watch silently from their positions. The message is clear. Evil is present and vigilant. These owls represent darkness hidden behind lust. Everyone thinks they're in paradise, having good time, but these sinister birds know it's all illusion. That guy hugging the owl instead of another human, he's basically surrendering himself to false wisdom, searching for forbidden knowledge that leads to sin. Now the third owl in center panel is more hidden, but honestly, it might be the most powerful symbol. It's perched on the horn of a white unicorn. Unicorns traditionally represent purity and chastity, right? But here, that innocent horn becomes evil's perch. Bosch shows innocence itself being invaded by darkness. In this earthly garden, virtue has been overtaken. The white unicorn appears stained by that dark bird. Purity corrupted by lust, plain and simple. So between these 3 owls, watchful eyes everywhere, a moral warning hiding beneath all that beauty. Here's the kicker. The naked figures notice nothing. They're too busy collecting fruit and playing games. They can't see owls beside them or above them. That's their blindness, and Bosch wants you to see it. You, the viewer, can see what they cannot see. Those penetrating gazes everywhere, watching the scene. It creates a weird silent connection with the artist. You're warned about sin while characters stay clueless. All right, now we get to the right panel. Hell. This is where the sixth owl shows up disturbing. It's not even a natural owl anymore. It's a demon. Some people call it the Prince of Hell itself. It sits right at the center of infernal scene. This thing is enthroned on a chair/chamber pot. It has nocturnal bird head with grotesque amphibian body. And what's it doing? Devouring a sinner whole, while excreting others into a dark pit below. It eats you, spits you out, eats you again, forever. That's the punishment Bosch imagined. The image is shocking, but deeply symbolic too. That quiet owl from Paradise Fountain now rules everything. A demonic executioner punishing souls for their sins. Bosch uses this monster to personify the devil himself. This owl demon completes the entire moral message. Those seduced by pleasure become prey to evil. The devouring owl closes the cycle started in Eden. So when you see all six owls together, one story. In paradise, evil was lurking from the very beginning. In the garden, humanity lives in illusion while evil watches. In hell, the demonic owl shows pleasure leads to torment. But this isn't the only painting with hidden owls. Let's look at some other Bosch works real quick. In the painting Ecce Homo, late 15th century, another owl. The scene shows Jesus wounded and humiliated by crowd. Everyone's demanding his crucifixion. Total chaos everywhere. There in a niche sits small owl marking dark atmosphere. Bosch placed it alongside a giant toad on soldier shield. Both symbols underline the moral corruption of scene. The owl suggests dark forces lurking behind this injustice. It symbolizes the crowd rejecting divine truth completely. Christ is the light, but these people prefer shadow. Just like owls do, they choose darkness over light. The bird embodies those spiritually blind calling for crucifixion. In another painting called The Wayfarer, same trick. It shows a traveler at moral crossroads between two paths. On the left, a sketchy house, probably a brothel. On the right, a path toward virtue and salvation. Guess where Bosch put the owl on withered branch? Right next to it, a green branch means virtuous way. The tree opens into two directions. Visual choice presented. The owl sits precisely on dry branch, symbol of evil. Even better, below the owl sits a small, naive bird. That little bird represents the innocent, unsuspecting victim. Predator-prey relationship shows sin waiting to capture unwary. Evil feeds on innocence. Owl positioned ready to strike. One more painting, the hay wain, same pattern again. Central panel shows crowd of fools following a hay cart. Everyone surrendering to greed, lust, deception, and ambition. Top of cart has angel praying next to blue demon. On the hay, wealthy couple enjoys music and lust. Their servants play behind a bush. Owl sits right there. Bosch uses it as satirical observer with fixed gaze. It represents hidden awareness, like demon watching through bird. While angel pleads to Christ, none of humans notice. Only the owl remains attentive, observing from its branch. The contrast is wild. Evil understands better than people. It reinforces Bosch's whole message. Sin blinds humanity completely. So after all this, owls weren't random decorations. They were Bosch's most powerful and recurring symbols. Each owl appears different context but shares one thing. They're all warning signs. Bosch used them revealing truths about sin and blindness. Seeing an owl in Bosch is invitation to look deeper, to read symbols, question the obvious pleasure in his works, to doubt false appearances that his characters believe in. 500 years ago, Bosch painted owls watching human folly. They're still watching today. The real question is, what do they see in you?